Let me tell you a little tale, one that may, depending on your disposition, shock you. It's about Christmas, playing piano, and religious fanaticism. I'd love to hear your point of view on what you're about to hear, so don't be shy about leaving a comment, whatever side of the fence you're on. Now, I'm a composer and a pianist, and last Christmas, for a bit of fun, I arranged a medley of 8 well-known Christmas tunes for piano. My spin on these tunes was to transpose them all from major keys into minor keys, which has the effect of making them sound darker, more mischievous. You may even say slightly devilish. I jokingly titled my arrangement "Hark the Herald Demons Sing." You see what I did there? Fast forward to late November this year, 2025. I thought I'd share my arrangement in a Facebook group for piano teachers. This I duly did, and some nice comments started coming in. Some sales of the sheet music, lovely. But then this comment arrived. Totally offensive. For a few moments, I had no idea what could have caused this offence. Then another comment arrived. Nope, nope, nope. Not going to tarnish Christmas carols this way. What was going on here? Another comment flew in. It may be super fun to play, but I wouldn't touch it based on the title alone. I finally got the message. Some of these piano teachers, presumably Christian piano teachers, were getting offended at the title of my arrangement. Hark the Herald Demons Sing. Changing the word angels to demons was a step too far, it seems. But not only this, I had interspersed throughout the arrangement tempo and mood indications such as the following: with satanic glee, with demonic grandeur, fast and evil, with Mephistophelian cunning, practically exploding with iniquity. I could go on. Christian piano teachers just couldn't cope with my satirical take on their sacred carols, and I in turn could barely cope with their offence-taking. Was what I had done so terrible, so unforgivable, so evil? It never even crossed my mind when arranging the medley that something so tame could offend anyone. Allow me to share a few more comments and my reaction to them. I love minor carols and new twists on standards, but the title here would offend even my non-religious families. Really? Offend even non-religious families? When did people become so puritanical? Is the word demons really so offensive? What about Dan Brown's best-selling and god-awful book Angels and Demons? What about the best-selling and god-awful song Demons by Imagine Dragons? At the time I'm recording this, K-pop Demon Hunters is hugely popular with kids. Demons, it's just a word. I was starting to get the impression that most of the offended piano teachers in the Facebook group were American. Maybe us Brits are made of tougher stuff. I teach this arrangement to several of my own students, both adults and teenagers, none of whom has ever even raised an eyebrow about this. This is just a gentle reminder that you could have made it a little more all-inclusive. These types of musical instructions tend to divide, where music could unite. Oh, fuck off. Thank you for your supercilious suggestion for me to censor the very tame language in my arrangement. This isn't preschool. I see no need to tiptoe around words like demons, satanic, Mephistophelian. I shall use them if I see fit to. If you don't like them, that's fine. No one is forcing you to buy my arrangement. But the sheet music is available for a very fair price. See the video description. Get rid of the title, tempo markings, and the religious songs you arranged, and it would be okay. Then what would we be left with? A blank sheet of paper. Wonderful. This reminds me of what happened when Monty Python's Life of Brian came out in 1979. Various religious people and organisations accused the film of blasphemy, saying, how dare they poke fun at the Bible? It was banned by many town councils, nuns protested at film screenings, and it was banned for 8 years in Ireland and for 1 year in Norway. In Sweden, I love this, in Sweden they advertised the film with this slogan: the film that is so funny that it was banned in Norway. All ideas should be able to be discussed, criticised, and yes, joked about. This includes religious ideas, which are ideas like any other. It really all boils down to free speech. This is not hate speech, it's not attacking anyone, it is having a little bit of light-hearted fun. If it's not to your taste, please look away. Your composition isn't fun, it's blasphemy. And you can mock me, I couldn't care less. I'd be more concerned with mocking Christ. You know, that sounds quite threatening. Is God really going to punish me? To send me to hell for putting a religious tune in a minor key? If so, that kind of God sounds incredibly petty and, if I may say so, thin-skinned. And this term blasphemy, it really has absolutely no meaning for a non-religious person like myself. It's an absurd term used by people who just love to take offence. If I may employ a quote from Christopher Hitchens here, if people are determined to be offended, if they will climb up on a ladder, balancing it precariously on their own toilet system to be upset by what they see through their neighbour's bathroom window, there is nothing you can do about that. You could do so much better. Oh, the disappointment in her tone. How sad. Sounds kind of Trumpian, that one. FYI, mocking the God who created you and the universe isn't child's play or innocent fun. I would encourage you to think long and hard about the question, what if I am wrong about this? What if I'm wrong? Richard Dawkins gave a great response to this precise question. He said, and I quote, "You know what it's like to not believe in a particular faith because you're not a Muslim. You're not a Hindu. Why are you not a Hindu? Because you happen to have been brought up in America, not in India. If you had been brought up in India, you'd be a Hindu. If you'd been brought up in Denmark in the time of the Vikings, you'd be believing in Wotan and Thor. If you were brought up in Central Africa, you'd be believing in the great Juju up the mountain. There's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God, in which by the sheerest accident you happen to have been brought up, and ask me the question, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great Juju at the bottom of the sea?" One more comment. Great arrangements, but I don't like the mocking titles. Would we do this to Jews and Muslims? We all know we wouldn't. Well, I strongly believe that any and all religions should be able to be criticised and joked about, just like any other man-made ideas out there. But yes, in the Muslim world in recent decades, there have been very severe reactions to such creations as Salman Rushdie's novel, The Satanic Verses, or the cartoons at Charlie Hebdo. And is this a good thing? Does anyone actually think that these murderous reactions are valid responses to a novel or a cartoon? And so, why did I not include Jewish or Islamic music in my Christmas medley? I'll repeat, my Christmas medley? A tough one that. So, in conclusion, my Christmas medley, my tame, lightweight, unimportant, relatively throwaway piano arrangement is found blasphemous by the piano teachers of America, it seems. What do you think? Does it offend you, or is it a harmless bit of festive musical fun? In the meantime, please buy a copy of the sheet music. It would make a wonderful Christmas present for those deeply religious aunts and uncles of yours. They're always difficult to buy for, aren't they? Happy Christmas. Oh, and one more thing, just to preempt some criticism I might face here. I'm not saying that I'm against people being Christian or any other faith. Some of my best friends are, in fact, Christian. I treat anyone that I come across in my personal life, of whatever faith, with decency and respect, if they show me, an atheist, the same courtesy. Also, I'm not saying that these piano teachers shouldn't have voiced their opinion that my arrangement was blasphemous. They can say whatever they like, of course. They're perfectly within their rights to share their opinion, just as I am perfectly within my rights to absolutely disagree with their moralistic, holier-than-thou, nonsensical bullshit. Happy Christmas.